And I've made friends in the last year with everybody. And I've been asking them, would you like me to come into your home or come into your workplace and do an event for you? And I've booked 4 events in 1 week.
Awesome.
So I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying, do you know what? We've been chatting for months now, and we've made this beautiful friendship. And you don't even know what I do, but this is what I do. And you know, why don't I give you a gift? I usually charge $97 a head for my VMV tour, but why don't I just do it by donation? That's actually working for me.
That's brilliant.
So I've got one girl that signed into the business. So I went to her best friend and asked her to do a party. So now that one has to join the business.
Well done, lady.
So it's just actually, I mean, Nick, just getting out there and talking to lots of people. And Nick, I know you have this amazing music event, but it's really good, right? What you need to do is start with the small events, like 2 or 3 people at a time. Is like you've got to get action going, so you get this little community forming.
Me and that. Well, actually, I just had a whole other shift. Yeah, the events, we talked about that today, and and we are starting small. It looks like, or I am. But I also came up with another really good idea tonight, and I was just speaking with Noreen about it, and it seems to be like kind of way more up my alley. So.
Cool.
With music incorporated as well.
Nat,
yeah.
First of all, welcome everybody. Thank you for getting on the call for team training tonight. We always appreciate people getting on because, you know, it's such an important part of your journey in this business is team training. And I just really appreciate that. So Nat, thank you for your time. I was just wondering, can you share, hun, a little bit about, I think what I've noticed with the team from doing the individual trainings that I've been doing is coming up with events and helping them to do things that are in line with who they are, what lights them up, and then that then goes on to develop a brand.
Yeah. So I did 2.5 years of talks, and I did the same talk 3 times a week for 2.5 years. Now, do you think people would get bored of that? Do you think I'd get bored of that? Most people would say yes. But the talk developed. Every time I spoke, it got better and better and better and better. And I had this rhythm around what I was doing because I so believed in the message. And it was my message, right? This is the difference, right? When it's someone else's message, it gets boring after a while because somebody else created that message. Like dream lifestyle, done to death. You know, smoothie parties, done to death by everybody in the industry. Like, what's your niche? Like, what makes you so special? Like, I have gone from the 3 systems of health to how to play it up. And how to play it up is the 3 systems of health. Now, I use that in the company and the business, and I'm going to be doing lots of lives on that and talking about that. That's my brand. That's who I am, right? And I love that, and it rolls off the tongue. So when I first started, I did my first little event and talked about this. It was really crap. I mean, I just stuffed it up. But I still had 7 out of 7 orders, right? So obviously I didn't stuff it up that badly. And then I thought, geez, this works. I got that little tiny window of this works. So then I just started doing more and more and more and more and more. And sometimes I got 2 people in the room. Sometimes I got 150 people in a back garden. But it just developed. It grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. And then I became Natalie Baldock, the brand. So that was my message. 3 systems of health, that's Natalie Baldock's message. Now it's a global brand. So my next message is really going to be around women's health, and I'm going to focus on single mothers because I'm not owning who I am, and I need to own who I am, and I haven't wanted to own who I am. So I need to actually physically say, I'm a single mum and life is tough and I want to save every other single mum from having that stress. I spoke to a girlfriend today and she actually has $0 in her bank account, like 0. I had to put $50 in her bank account today so she can buy food for the kids and get them on the bus to school. And this is a professional woman who's just split up with her husband and he's taken everything. And I thought, this is crazy. I need to help these people so that my brand will be around that. So I'm actually just coming up with a concept now that's very unique. And it's probably going to be, you know, how I can help people. But I've got a new talk coming up that I'm doing too about how people who are in their head need to bring their energy down with carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, and people that are very emotional and self-absorbed, you know, and they worry all the time, they need to bring their energy up to their heart space with chocolate. So I've got a new event called Chips and Chocolate. And I'm really excited about it because it's just going to be able to help people understand that everyone needs energy. So you've got to come up with something that's yours and don't change over and over and over again. Do not change. Do not deviate from the plan. And even if you're bored of saying it, just keep reading and researching around that topic and throw one new line in, another new line in every single time you do it. And what will happen is, because you're consistent, because you're a brand, because you're on point, because it's your message, people will come and invite people. They go, you know, we never had a problem getting 150, 250, 300 in a room for about 2.5 years solid, because everyone knew what they were inviting people to. So they followed Natalie Baldock as the brand message, and they knew they were going to get customers on because it was solidifying the truth around nutrition for them. And then all of a sudden those 8 NMDs rose to the top. They've got Carla Thomas has got her own brand now. You know, Abby's got her Pajama Mum Bosses brand. You know, everyone's got their own brand. The ones that are actually gaining the most traction, you know, for Noreen, she's the naturopath. She's got to stick to that. She's been told that's hard to duplicate. We know that's not true. She will be the brand. She'll be positioned as the expert in her field. So you have to own who you are, and it will be something so small, but it's something so powerful. You know? I mean, Maggie, you could do something around empowering all these women in Dubai, you know, just empowering women. But empowering women's been done to death. What's your angle on that? What's the supreme angle on that? And you have to dig down, meditate on it every day for a week, write notes until something pops out of the screen for you, and then just keep plugging that message on social media every single day and doing events around that every single day. And that will gain traction for you. You've got to know your top 3 values too.
Yeah, go through that, babe.
So if you don't know your top values and you don't live in those top values, you will choke and die. So when you're in a relationship, say 2 people meet and they live in their values pre-children and they have a great time and they love it, then they have children and then they both give up their values. He gives up motorbikes, he gives up jet skis, he gives up golf. She gives up being pampered with the girls. She gives up her holidays away. And then all of a sudden you've got 2 people that are so miserable, not living in their values, they break up. So the only reason people actually break up is that A, they aren't living in their values, or B, one of them gives up the values and the other one doesn't, and it becomes unfair in someone's mind. So we know how important it is to live in our values. My values is education, contribution, and personal growth, and travel, right? They're my top 4. But, you know, if I don't do a bit of that each and every day, I die inside. If I sit in my house every day and work on my computer from morning till night, I actually feel not like Natalie Baldock. I actually feel like I'm at work. And this is never meant to feel like a job for me. So I have to create an adventure every day. And sometimes it means I just take my bicycle to the park and I sit under a tree and I do 2 hours of personal development and an hour worth of coaching calls in the park. And that's an adventure for me, right? If I'm planning a holiday, like I felt so much better yesterday when I just pressed book when I booked a week away, you know? I was like, oh, that feeling, right? So you've got to live in your values too. And then you need to identify your values. And then what you need to do is actually make sure that your message sits in those values as a brand so you can live in it every day authentically. Seriously, Hilary Wood, one of our big NMDs in the business, her values was being a grandma, spoiling the kids, and getting her hair, nails done, and shopping, and going for dinners with Craig. And here she was standing up in front of hundreds of people talking about nursing and nutrition. And she hated it. And to be honest, her business did not grow for 8 years. Boom. All of a sudden, she created a page, the Glamour Nanny, teaching other grandmas how to retire with an income so they can spoil their grandchildren. Her business has doubled in 6 months. And she's got this gorgeous picture, the Glamour Nanny, with 2 shopping bags, and she just screams into the camera, "Shopping is exercise too, ladies." It's so her, right? So you need to find out who you are.
How much of your, I love your, this is like a Q&A, I hope you don't mind. How much of your of each individual's, how much should they be in line with their personality?
Say that again.
How much should their brand be in line with their personality? So say, for example, you know, now on social media, we get given the permission to really be whoever we want to be. Whereas traditionally in business, business was business not so long ago. Okay. So someone like the Glamour Nanny, you know, she was doing the nursing and nutrition because she was an older lady. It's like, oh, I got to give them all that information. I can't, you know, I've got to hold myself in check. But now she's just kind of like, oh, holy shit, this is actually who I am. Can you talk a bit more about allowing your personality to come into your brand?
Yeah, I mean, you know, guys, I have very strong personality. And when I talk on social media, sometimes I'm watching my own video talking and I'm thinking, God, people are going to be like, whoa, she's really harsh. But if you know my heart, you know how soft and gentle I actually am, but I'm so passionate about the message and getting it across. Sometimes when I talk, I'm so succinct and so direct. And, you know, I think it's important to actually be yourself. If people don't like me, it's too bad. It's none of my business if they don't like me or not. I have had that. 2,000 franchisees, I've probably had a handful of people that don't like me in my business, but it's not important to me whether they do or they don't like me. And most of the time, the people that don't like you are jealous, envious, completely insecure, and they've got to go do work on themselves. It's the same people, that same types of people that don't love you. But that's okay because they're on a journey too. So the thing is, you've got to just step outside of your comfort zone and be yourself on social media. And remember, the way that you actually drive a business is to add value on social media. So live Facebooks and actually talking about why you're doing is important. Sarah Keogh spoke the other day and she said, hi everyone, I just want to let you know, I've had quite a few questions lately, probably up to 50 people asked me in the last 3 or 4 weeks, did I start taking a whole food concentrate to lose weight? And she said, I know I'm 50 kilos overweight or 40 kilos or whatever she said. I can't remember what she said. She said, I know I'm overweight. She said, but I didn't start that because of this. I started it because my little boy was unwell, and then I started taking the product too. And the byproduct of that is that I'm walking for an hour each day. I'm getting into the sunlight. I've got energy. I feel happy. My anxiety's dropped. I don't care about losing weight. Her brand will be around getting over anxiety and avoiding focusing on weight loss and focusing on feeling good. That will be Sarah Keogh's brand. And as she goes on a journey, she's going to lose weight as she sheds the emotional stuff that's holding her back, right? Because she's so powerful. Sarah is so powerful as a person. And I love that because she was brave enough to add value. So what actually she did is she educated a stack of people around nutrition and gave value. And she was herself. And the video before that she did, she was like, oh, guys, you can hear Macy kicking off in the background. Sorry, you know. But I just had 5 minutes of passion that had to come out of me. And she just talks and she sort of says, you know, I love what I do because, you know, I've got this great community around me and I'm feeling really supported in my journey to feeling better and hopefully, as a byproduct, losing weight. So her whole message is that all the time, and she's really brave. And you're not supposed to look perfect on social media. Stop putting your makeup on. Stop trying to look perfect, because in a perfect world, no one looks like that. And people see right through it. I tell you what's going on here is there's so much social media going on here, and I don't know if it's happening there for you guys too, but people are actually deleting people off Facebook, including their own friendship circle, because they're looking too perfect on social media. It's actually causing people anxiety. And it's so lovely to actually be on social media and see somebody that's raw and real. You know, so please be yourself on social media. And if somebody attacks you, I have a very simple answer to that. Delete comment, delete friend, send a private message and say, you know, this is where I actually host my business. And even though I appreciate your concerns for me, and I know you honestly trying to love me in the way that you know possible, this is actually a business, and that actually is interfering with my business. So I've just deleted you off Facebook. I really hope you're not offended. Do you know? I had to do it to one of mine and Noreen's good friends. I just had to delete her, and she was off my social media for 2 years, because every time I wrote something, she would actually be quite nasty. So, but that's happened to me 3 or 4 times in 8 years, guys. It's very rare.
So, honey, can you talk a bit about, this is a little bit of a confusing point for a lot of people I'm noticing in training is, you know, we've talked about developing a business page for, you know, to help them in their business. What is your recommendations on going live? Should be on a business page, or should it be on their personal page? What's your advice?
Well, it's personal choice. Do you want to have a business page and hide behind a message, or do you want to be Maggie Jackson, out loud and proud on your personal page? Or do you want to keep your personal page for family, and then you want to set up a business page for people outside, so you can really separate and segregate people? But I share things from my business page onto my personal page, so my personal friends can jump over and join my page and see what else I do. The thing is, it's not a business page, it's a focus page. It's your brand page, okay? And we only set it up as a business page because you have the ability to advertise, right? You're not setting up a business. You're actually just setting up a focus group. It's actually a focus group. What are you focusing on? What's your one message? What's the one thing you want to help people with? So you're solving someone's greater problem. So for me, the naked word has always been the truth on food. That's my focus. I want to teach the truth on food. So I always debunk things on that page, but I've actually just let it die off lately. I was focusing on how to play it up as a message on Facebook, but I've let that die off too. I'm really comfortable in my own brand, being my own person, having my own personal page. I'm getting more traction on that than anything else by just being Nat Baldock. 3 people messaged me and said, "You went horse riding on the weekend. Wow, babe, that's amazing." You know, and like private messaged me about the horse riding. So I started conversations, and I'm having a coffee catch up with someone because I went horse riding. Do you know, so it really is not. Don't overanalyze it. Don't think it. Overthink it. Who are you as a person? Top 3 values. What is the one thing you stand for in this lifetime? What is the one thing that you live by in this lifetime? If you were wronged as a child, you might want to make things right in this lifetime. What is it that you want to make right? You never ever want anyone to get cancer because someone died of cancer. You know, you want to prevent cancer. That's your message. Go out there and speak about that. Do you want to keep women safe from abuse? Or do you want to make music a vibration that heals people alongside of food? Like, you know, vibrational healing. Like, what is your message? So, you know, for Sophie, Lizzie, you're brand new, and Nick, you're fairly new too. Don't get overwhelmed with this. It'll come naturally. I think the most important thing is when you're speaking to people and asking them questions and you want to get a health conversation going with them, see what comes up in your language the most. What's the thing that lights you up the most when you go, when I say to people that, I can say something like, did you know that sugar, because this is my whole thing at the moment with sugar, is sugar actually creates an automated response. It stops tryptophan from creating serotonin by producing too much dopamine in the body. So dopamine makes you dopey. So therefore you get depressed, right? So for me, when I talk like that, I'm freaking excited about it. I'm like, shit, you've got this bloody hamburger that interrupts the ability for you to actually be happy, and it's that simple, but I can explain it in a scientific way because that's my brand. I love the science behind it. And I think my brand's always been around simplifying the science. So for me, it's like that lights me up. But then if I'm talking about, 7 serves of fruits and vegetables, that's someone else's message. That's the government's message. That's not Natalie Baldock. We all know that. That's bloody timeless. But I like simplifying complex issues within the body, like the 3 systems of health. That's who I am. So find out who you are. And it does take time, but don't overthink it, because if you overthink it, it won't come. See, Noreen, your message, you could change the world, Nors, just by getting naturopaths to realise that they are still working in the pharmaceutical industry.
Mm. Yep. And
Steph, you could be talking about microcirculation in the body and how massage and nutrition actually creates incredible chemistry within the body. If that's your thing, I'm just making it up, right? I'm just throwing some things out there. But if it's a simple message that's always spoken, someone like Ju could be all about kindness and how to actually get into that heart space, right? And that when you get into that heart space, that's when you actually contribute. And the way that you contribute, the vehicle that you have, Ju, is that you give people the gift of a business that allows them to connect to people and actually practice love with many people. Do you see? So you kind of got to have your message that you're getting out there on your personal page or create a business page.
Mm.
So Simon Mitchell in Australia is teaching everyone to have focus groups and adding people to the focus groups, and then getting you to speak your message on your private page, and then bringing people across to the focus group. And then doing heaps of live events. So putting up a flyer into that focus group saying, we're going to be doing a live, and then interviewing people in that live and having people come to you through social media events, like live video events. Seriously, guys, if you know how I always say, let's do 3-way calls, let's step it up. Why don't you all create a business page or a focus group at some point in time? And why don't Noreen and I do lives we can alternate, we can do lives into your page. Instead of doing a 3-way call, we're doing a 25-way call.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? And why don't you sit there and go, okay, I'm going to interview Nat Baldock this week into my focus group, and I'm going to set a series of 5 questions and do a poll that week in your focus group and say, what are the 5 things you want to know about health the most? Then get the poll back, get the questions, and then come to Noreen or myself or someone in the business and just say, would you come and do a live into my group around getting the answers to this? So it's always about capitalizing on the moments we have and making it simple. Jade Baxter does her entire business online, nothing in person at all anymore. And she's an NMD 24 club, right? Which is, I don't know, $8,000 a month, nearly $10,000 a month that she's creating for herself. And she lives this dream life, and it doesn't cost her anything because she's doing it all in focus groups. So, but she is 25, right? I'm 42. To be honest, guys, if I don't actually get a hug from you and look you in the eye after a year, I start to really miss you, So it's totally different for me. I'm different generation. In actual fact, I'm actually struggling with the fact that I'll call my team and they message me back. And as a 42-year-old, I find that rude. Like, it's like, don't do that. I actually picked up the phone to you, call me back. But I have to accept that there's age groups that behave that way. So we need to actually factor in that sometimes we're speaking to people of different age groups. Bronwyn does every month Women of Wisdom, and she sets a fun event in the calendar every month for people to come and socialise and enjoy, right? So, Noreen, you could do something really fun that you love doing. So you could do pole dancing one month, and the next week you could do a boat cruise, and the next week you could do a picnic in the park, and everyone gets to invite people as friends to a non-invasive event that's not business, not Juice Plus. But people come and meet the community and they start going, how do you guys all know each other? And it comes up in natural conversation. And then what happens, Nick says, I want you to meet Noreen, my gorgeous friend. She's amazing. And then you bring over this girl and say, Noreen, this is my friend Sammy I told you about. Noreen's a naturopath and you were talking about what you've got going on. And the conversations just start like that. But the more fun you have, the more your business will grow.
I'm just writing.
That makes sense.
It's kind of like what the event you were doing, Nick. It's very much like that. So Nat, we've got like a couple more minutes, but can you talk a little bit about what Michelle Ball's been doing?
So Michelle Ball created a 200 club business, which is, let's talk about probably $50,000 a month business, by doing something called a family plan. So what she does is when she meets somebody and they want to go on to Juice Plus, she shares this language. She said, look, you've agreed to be on this amazing product, Juice Plus, and I'm really excited about sharing it with you and helping you on your journey with health. But I need to explain the compensation plan to you because there is one. First of all, you can actually pay for your product as a preferred customer and you pay full price. The second option is that you actually get a discount on your product, and that's DVF, right? The third option, that you don't say that to the customer though, you just say, look, the second option is that you get to, you get a discount on your product. And the third option is that you can actually create some residual income. You can actually have your product completely paid for and potentially create some residual income by sharing it with other people. What would you like to know about? Which one do you feel suits you best? And what happens is say if you've got a family, like a husband and a wife and a sister and a friend, and they're all at a party, you would offer the family plan to the person that hosted the party, right? And then that's where you see some really strong success when you continue. And then what you do is that the second time you meet up with that person to sign them up into the business, or you're doing it right then and there, you're explaining to them there's an amazing compensation plan with this, and even though you only want to receive a discount on your product, would you have 10 minutes for me just to show you what the potential of the business is? And then what you do is just share with them the road to SC. And then the fast track and the bonus money. I tell you what, right? I want to just explain something to everybody, and this is probably a Noreen and Natalie conversation at this stage, but I think you can all handle it because you're all professionals in your own right, and you actually all have a lot of strength up here. If you focus on structure, you're going to fail, right? You need to focus on showing vision and letting people actually gravitate towards what makes them feel the best. By that I mean that you need to focus on helping each individual create a community underneath them. You need to help people qualify their business. So everybody needs to qualify their business. And then the next thing to do is really to chase the bonus money. So what I mean by chase the bonus money is you want to help someone get to DVF. You want to help someone get to SDVF. You want to get yourself there too, but you've got to actually put a date in the diary and chase the bonus money. Now, if you chase the bonus money, what I used to do is say, oh, I'm going to get a bonus this month, a bonus this month, a bonus this month, right? And I'd be like, okay, what do I have to do? Then you get really acutely focused. I've got to help that person get to DVF, I've got to help that person get to SDVF. So what you do is you actively participate in their success by saying, I'm going to host a party for you. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do this with you. And then what happens is as they get to the SDVF, you get 400, they get 400. As you get someone to SC, they get 600, you get 600, right? So actively focusing on the bonus money. That's the key to success. But focusing on the structure and going, oh, I've got to get this person to that and this person to that so I can get to my bonus, you're going to go backwards for the rest of your career. Because that's a selfish goal that you just go, okay, that's on my dream board over here. But what you need to do is be actively campaigning for your distributor's success. You should be driving into the team. Now, when I say driving into the team, like, okay, so this is probably going to hit people hard, but Katie, you need to be doing stuff for Nick. You're not here, but so that's almost next to impossible. So Noreen, you've got to do events for Nick. You guys have got to band up together, buddy up together and do events to get Nick successful. Noreen, you've got to help Lizzie and do starter parties for her. Maggie, you've got to work directly with Kate and do things with her, which you're already doing and proving successful. So you guys are actually making that happen. But Maggie, you've got to be acutely focused on Kate's success. Noreen, you've got to work with Ju. So it's kind of like actively going, right, I've got 10 spots in my diary for 10 events. These are the dates I have in my diary that I'm going to let people choose to do an event in, and we're going to actually drill in and we're going to say, right, we've got due dates coming up and we've got to get all these parties happening and all these events happening. And online events are great, but just make sure that every time you do an event, Noreen, as a leader, you've got to have the same message. Right? Nick, same message. Steph, Maggie, Ju, Katie, Lizzie, same message. Always tied up with Juice Plus in the end. Because I've just been really going back and thinking, what actually worked for me? Why was I so successful? Why was I putting on 10 customers, 3 franchisees a month? Why was I booming out of the gates? And it was because I had the same message and I focused on other people's successes, not my own. I was not interested in my success. In actual fact, every time my paycheck went up, I vomited. Because I had never, ever in my life seen money like this. And now I just have that expectation that my pay will go up. And when my focus is skewed and I'm sort of like, oh, I've got to get my paycheck up to this, it doesn't go anywhere. The paycheck doesn't go anywhere. But the more I focus on Noreen and you as a team, and the more I love you guys, and the more I think of, right, what can I do to help you all be the most successful people that you possibly can be, then all of a sudden you guys grow. So I just want to put my hand on my heart and say to all of you that I am here for you. People aren't booking 3-way calls with me. People are not utilising my time. You're not utilising enough of Noreen's time. You should be so freaking hungry that you want to put people in front of me, because the team will get too big soon and it won't be possible. But it's so important to actually utilise your leaders, because we've been there before. There's no way I'm going to let you down, because I am responsible for your happiness, your growth and your life purpose. And so is Noreen. So if you're not using us, right, you're doing the business wrong. And find a way to have a conversation around health with every person that you meet. Become obsessed. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I tell you what, with your obsession, you'll create success. When you have success, you'll create confidence. When you have confidence, you'll be the greatest leader that you could ever be. Do it with lots of heart. Stay in the heart space. Don't go into elation or depression, or desperation. Just stay in the heart space and share with such grace and gratitude. I remember once I shared Juice Plus with a lady with a bandana on in a shopping centre, and I just said to her, I said, I know I'm probably speaking out of turn. I'm sure you've had a million people come up to you and say this to you before, but I would love to, hand on heart, help you. You know, I have something I think I could give you that I think you would really love. And she turned around and snapped my head off, right? But I didn't get upset because I knew in that moment I actually had been brave enough to share with heart. She just happened to be an oncology nurse. She had cancer.
Shit.
So I was like, fuck, that was fucked up.
You were brave. It's about the bravery.
It is about the bravery. But the thing is, what I mean is that I had the confidence to do that because I'd practiced with so many people. Like, guys, you've got to push yourselves out of your boundaries and just be so brave. You're not going to grow unless you actually have 7 seconds of courage and get braver. And some of you are very brave, but some of you are hiding and you know who you are. You could totally be talking to 10 to 15 people a day and smashing records. But if you're speaking to 1 to 3 people a week, you're going to grow an NMD business by 2025. Okay, you need to be speaking to 5 to 10 new people each and every day to get to NMD within 1 to 2 years. And you need to be, if you can't do it and talk to them yourself, you've got to use your leaders. So go to the chicken list and go and call 2 people off your chicken list tomorrow and 5 people off your regular list. Make sure you do 7 people tomorrow and report back to Noreen and say, I've done it. Because I can tell you right now, if you take up that challenge and you actually do that tomorrow, you will grow, because I'm setting an intention. If that happens tomorrow, you will grow. And just like, oh, it's such a good feeling when you actually do something and it actually works. And remember, God rewards the brave. Lizzie, this is probably a very big conversation for you being so brand new.
Oh, hold on, I'm going to unmute you, babe. Go ahead. Say it again, we didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Well, I am being pretty brave because Noreen and I have booked an event and we've already got 5 people that are coming so far.
Good girl.
It's only this afternoon, so.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
That's
for
amazing.
me, that's pretty big, but.
And remember, you know, sometimes you think, oh, I've only got 2 people coming. Don't let your head go there. Because I went to an event with one person, Abby Hero. She's got 800 distributors now. Her business provides me with $6,000 a month. Her business, just Abby. Right? So don't ever go into any state of, I'm not enough, I haven't done enough, I haven't got enough people there, because you will spiritually sabotage your event. You need to go, oh my God, I've got 1 person here. Now, what happens if you turn up and the only person there is one of your distributors? What happens in that moment? Anyone know what you do?
We eat a lot of bliss balls and drink all the smoothies.
So you turn it into a training session. You go, okay, it's just you and me, babe. Let's take this opportunity to do a training session. Let's go into the reports. Let's look at the product costs. Let's talk about product knowledge. Let's debunk some certain things that are coming up for you. That's what we have to do, is to turn it all around to make it a positive every time. And that's what makes a great leader.
Yeah.
So don't ever be disappointed, because everything happens for a reason. What happens if Norz goes to an event and Lizzie's the only one that turns up, and she trains Lizzie? Then Lizzie grows some knowledge, something clicks for her, and then she goes out and gets 10 customers that very next month, and then she's like, she can't stop. You know, you just don't know.
Awesome. So just to wrap up, guys, quickly, we're just going to share. Nat, do you want to briefly talk about what you're going to talk about tomorrow night on Gut Health 101? And I'll let the guys and girls know so that they can hit tomorrow up and invite a ton of people onto that call.
Just really quickly, guys, because I've got a client turned up now. What I'm talking about is all aspects of gut health. You can't just take a like a probiotic because it only has 2 or 3 or 5 things in it. You need 120 strains, and it comes from 5 areas. It comes from breath, comes from water, comes from food, comes from good quality fats, and it comes from probiotic foods. Right? So I'll be talking about that, and I'll be talking about the pre and probiotic nature of the complete and the good fats and the omegas. So it's really powerful talk because then people can get their gut health sorted. So you're going to be able to give people the gift of healing themselves. So anyone with an autoimmune condition, anyone with inflammatory load, anyone with any digestive issues, get on social media and actually say to people, guys, I've got one of the world's best food coaches and world's best naturopaths talking on how to heal your gut. Anyone wants to know about this? Please private message me and I'll send you the invite. Okay? Do that tonight to invite for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And ring everybody you know and you care about. Hey guys, I've got to go.
Thanks, Nat. Bye.
I'm really sorry, Noz, to break it off, but if you have any questions, can you guys just Facebook Noreen and myself, put us on a group message together and we'll both answer.
Yeah. Bye, darling. Thanks for your time.
Bye.
So just to carry on from that, so Nat's going to talk about that, which is everything. She's fucking hogged it all as usual. So I'm going to make sure I go first. No, I'm going to talk more about, like, that's from her foodie's perspective, and I'm going to talk about it from the naturopath's perspective. So I'm going to really talk about what I see in clinic. And what is leaky gut? What is your gut? What's the role of your gut? What is leaky gut? And I've got a really good diagram to share my screen on. And then why is the prevalence of autoimmune conditions so high these days? Why am I seeing teenagers that are 17 on antidepressants in my clinic? Okay, this is the real deal, and this is what is happening in our communities. People are taking multiple medications at the age of 17 years old. That worries me. That makes me feel sick. So, you know, we had a bit of a chat about it today, and I want you to all know that a call like this, they're going to be monthly. It's so much added value to the people you know. This is not just a Juice Plus event. Okay, you're getting 2 professionals with a lot of experience in this field to be saying, this is what we think from our professional experience. And yes, Juice Plus is a part of the healing modality. It's not the everything, but and tomorrow, I want you to definitely do what Nat said, get on social media tonight, get it out there. Tomorrow on the call, you need to be looking through the gallery view and scanning. I don't know how many people have been on the call. It looks like a lot of interest, but you never know till the night. But scan the gallery and write down all the people who you know you have invited who have turned up on the call. Then it's your job. We do the hard work, which is presenting, and then you do your part, which is following them up the next day, which is, hey, how you going? I saw you on the call. Thank you so much for utilizing the space that I had saved for you, because I've only got limited spaces for my contacts on that call. Please tell me, what did you like the best about that call? And I want to hear this feedback, because don't forget, Nat and I are totally open to feedback. We want to know, what are people enjoying about these calls? So the next month's call, whether it's going to be on, I don't know, hormone health or energy or pregnancy, or we don't know, we'll put a vote out on Team Araha. You'll get to vote what you want us to talk about. We want feedback. But then you say to them, great, what was the best thing? What did you find out about? You know, how do you think you could apply what they talked about into your health to start to change you? That's what you do. You follow it up, and then you say to them, look, I'm really proud I want to let you know the reason I also invited you on the call, because I'm a proud distributor of Juice Plus. I'm working with these women on a daily basis, and I'm one of the wellness warriors, and we're looking for more people to spread this very important message globally. That's what we're doing. Be proud of what you do. Please, honestly, if you have voices in your head that are still going, oh my God, what are people going to think of me? Do you know what you're doing for people? Have you even thought about it? Because if you haven't, it's really important that you sit yourself down in front of a mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Okay? You are giving a shit about people's health. This is not about you. You're not doing this business for you. Okay, yeah, you're going to get rewarded financially eventually for whatever effort you put in. But why are you doing it? You're doing it because all of you've got a massive heart and you want to help humanity. So be proud of that fact. Be proud of the product. Be proud of the programs. Be proud of the fact that you've got health professionals in your team that want to help you. But most of all, be proud of this industry. You have to get proud of this industry. If you can't get proud of being a network marketing professional, you will not succeed in your business. I promise you that, and I don't want to promise you that. Okay? This business is the biggest gift in the world to humanity. Okay? You go and find me something else, another business model that allows people to choose their own hours, work with the people that they want, work from anywhere in the world, help people with their health, help people to have a lifestyle upgrade, help people, and you've got to think about these things, help people to pay a mortgage to own a house, help people to actually put food on their table, help daddies to come home from being away, help mums and dads to actually have school holidays off. You know, you name me another business that does that and I will eat my hat. No, I won't. I don't have a hat on. But you know what I'm saying, okay? Be proud of who you are, and all of you guys are doing so well. I really want to reiterate that. It's a really big deal as a leader when your team shows up. And as you build team, you will understand what I mean. When they are on team training, you will notice who is turning up. And when they put their hand up, your attention will go to them because they're turning up. So thank you for turning up. And thank you. Sorry, this went a bit over time, but I appreciate it. It was really great having that on for training. So, yeah. All right, guys, we'll see you 8:30 tomorrow night with lots of your beautiful friends and family on to hear about how to heal their gut and their diseases and depression and all of that. Awesome. Love you, ball. Love you, ball. Who's ball? Love you all. Love you, balls. Bye.